Hello everyone. So this is a screencast within a screencast because I need to so what this screencast here, so let's expand it full screen. Before I play this, I just want you all to know that this is a recording a uh, of a recording that was recorded in my iPad so that you can all see how the iPad is done. And then I need to format it into a YouTube video, and that is why I'm playing this. Okay, so let's get started. Because you're watching this video because you are done with the quiz. Now, the process is now coming to an end. So hopefully you know how to style your work from here and your personal narrative. You know how to style your personal narrative. You have generated some ideas. You know what those ideas are now that you have been tested and quizzed on it. Your final step is to watch this video, and I'm going to show you how to do spelling and grammar checks for your personal narrative. Okay, so let's, so that you can turn it in to your final narrative. Okay? Now, as I have explained to class, what I am going to do, because we are still very, very short on time, is I'm just going to assume that the majority of you are probably going to get 50% out of 100% to a 70 out of 100. Okay? For your initial, once you submit it to me, it's more than likely, don't be too shocked, but it's going to be more than likely 50 to 70 points out of 100. Okay? That's okay. Don't stress out, because I'm going to give you as much feedback as possible. And it's because of, more than likely, the grammar and the spelling issue. And for that issue, I am going to show you how to do this, okay? So what you need to do is, you need to take your personal narrative, okay? And what we can do here is we can grab it from that link from here, from this, let's just open this up. Okay, turn on the lights. This is the document that you're going to grab it from. Now the issue is, you're supposed to copy and paste all of your revised paragraphs. So what you've done with this document is you wrote a beginning and then you revised it to the best of your ability. Add details, that kind of thing. Take the rising action, revised it. Climax or conflict, revised it. Falling action, revised it. Conclusion paragraph, revised it. So you should have 5 chunks of information. And I've pasted them into this area right here. Now, what I need you to do next is you need to copy and paste all this revised work right here. And you need to go into Schoology and you need to paste it into the final personal narrative area. But once you have the link, so let's just assume that this is, where's Docs? Oh, I'm in Docs. So let's go back. Let's just assume that you have written something like this, A Day at KE. Now, if you have, first of all, this storyline right here is my expectations. I am expecting all of your papers to look like this, but it probably won't look like this. So, but what we need to do is, because this has already been corrected, and finalize, what we need to do is just assume that this is your work. We need to take a copy of this link. Let's see. We're going to go to the three buttons at the top right here. We're going to go to Share and Export. We're going to copy this link. Okay. And meanwhile, you're doing this in the final personal narrative submission area. Okay? So you're going to take this link, and the issue is that you cannot do a spelling and grammar check. What you can do is you can make these little suggestions. Oh, see, it already made them. There's these little underlines, these blue underlines where it's underlining the mistakes that can be made, okay, and changed. And see, I don't see any more in here. To give you an example. But what we want to do is we want to take that link, so we have our link, and because we can't do any spelling or grammar checking in the actual document, in the app, right? In this app here, it won't allow us to do that. So instead, what we need to do is we need to open up Safari. Oh, here we go. And now we have the option of the desktop format to make corrections. So now you see what needs to be corrected. Why this doesn't show up in the Google Doc app, I don't know. You simply have to do it in Safari, and only Safari. Don't do it in Chrome, and don't do it in Google, because it's going to send you right back to the app. Instead, you need to open it up in Safari. Now that you've opened it up in Safari, so I just want to do that one more time. So let's copy and paste that link. Yep, and then I'm in here 3 times, right? So that's how I got here. So, now it's giving us suggestions. So far, my trip to Hawaii has been great. Not had been great, right? Has. That's what we want to correct. Okay? Now it's giving us these suggestions. We need to correct these suggestions. More than likely, the suggestions is the correct grammar. Okay? Now, let's just say there's a ton of blue lines. Look, you're going to have to read through it and see what makes sense. Read it out loud. But what you also want to do is go to Tools, Spelling and Grammar Check. And it will take you through the steps and each one. And you need to accept that. Okay? And it can change it that way as well. Something to mention as well is so far I've read a bunch of stories, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I'm not going to say isn't important, but if you're leaving all the excitement out of your story, I'm going to be bummed as your reader, okay? Now, I want to make something very clear about my expectations with your final personal narrative and your story. When I say those 5 big chunks of information are supposed to help guide me, your reader, through this event in your life. That's true. With the narrator in this particular story, we have a beginning, we have the middle, and you probably answered this question already, but what is the climax? Well, it has to do with jumping off the rocks. It was amazing, right? Notice how this one, from here to here, is the middle of the whole story. And that is like your climax. Okay? And, there's this experience that's really cool and exciting that we got from the 6th grade writer. Okay? But so far I'm hearing we were driving in a car, and then we made it to Six Flags, Magic Mountain, or Six Flags Magic Six Flags, and that's in LA. So for like my cousin went on a trip, and he has 3 boys, and who's also in 7th grade. And if I got a personal narrative from him about how his brothers were driving him completely insane in the car, and then at the end he finally got to Six Flags, I'm going to say to myself, what about I want to read about the time you had fun at Six Flags, right? I don't want to read about you eating Hardee's and throwing fries at your brothers. Like, that's what I would tell him. So I want to hear about the time you went on one of the cool roller coasters at Six Flags in Texas. And so that's what I want to hear. I want to hear the cool stuff. Don't leave the cool stuff out for me. Anyways, I hope that didn't sound too much like a rant, but I've already read like 5 stories that sound like it's not. So make this story engaging and exciting for your reader. Read it out loud. Get some inspiration. If it was a family trip, cool. Get some input from your brothers or sisters or whomever was there with you. What was the most exciting part about that trip for them? That's probably what you need to put in. Okay? But read these stories out and get feedback from your family. Don't completely rely on me for feedback. Okay? Anytime you submit some kind of design or creativity, you're going to get critics. I am not a critic. I'm your teacher. I'm here to protect you and to make sure that you are learning. So I'll leave it at that. Just understand that once you submit your work, you will you're not going to be happy with the first initial grade. That's okay. I'm going to submit a screencast just like this one. Have your personal narrative look something like the examples that we have been going over. And 5% left, and submit it. Get it done. It is due by this Friday. Okay? That said, congratulations on completing the quiz. Bye, everybody.
All right, so that's the end of my expectations of the personal narrative through my iPad. And this will be, you're supposed to watch this at the very end of your quiz, and then I'll also post it in Schoology for you to watch as well. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.